Meet the Robinsons. Yeah, not Citizen Kane, not any of that stuff. No, Meet the Robinsons. This changed my life somehow, which may seem quite bizarre, but I wanted to dive into it a little bit today because I feel like this movie, when it came out way back in 2007, my God, that was 13 years ago. I'm feeling older by the day now. This is getting weird. But when it came out, this kind of shaped the trajectory that my life went into. I did see it in the theaters. I don't exactly remember why, because when I was 9 years old at the time this came out, I did not care about any 3D animated film that wasn't Pixar. I was kind of a Pixar fanboy. I've been fanboys of a lot of things in my life, but this one came out and it held my interest. You know, it had stuff I liked. It had futuristic tech, which I thought was kind of cool. None of this movie is very realistic because I do consider myself sort of a futurist. I'm excited to see where we're going in time and where technology is going to take us. And this movie was not realistic with the future at all. I don't believe anything in the future they predicted is going to end up happening, but there were a lot of underlining themes in this film outside of, like, you know, funny bowl hat guy, and dinosaurs are fun. I enjoyed dinosaurs, and the T-Rex in this movie moved so incredibly fast. It made me laugh even as a kid, and it makes me laugh now. I have a hard time understanding why I enjoyed the main character of this movie so much. You know, I don't really relate to him very much at all. I mean, he wants acceptance, he's trying to invent things, and he wants people to appreciate them, and he wants to find his mother. He's an orphan, he's trying to get adopted, but he's getting too old. And I've never struggled with any of those problems. I've never really cared what people thought of me. I've never strived for acceptance. I was never an orphan. I absolutely knew who my parents were, and I never felt neglected or rejected by them. So for whatever reason, I still like this character, but it probably ties in to the end of this film, which, spoiler alert, okay, this movie's been out for a long time, so sorry, but the reason I think I liked this character that brought redemption at the end is that his later announced son actually holds up his end of the deal, and in the time machine goes back to the moment his mother dropped him off at the orphanage so that he can finally see her, because originally in this film he creates the time machine so he can go back and see his mom. He finally gets that moment where he sees his mother and he walks up to her and he's about to, like, tap her on the shoulder and see her face for the first time, and then he stops and he realizes, you know what, I don't care. I don't want to meet my mother because I've been to the future now, I've seen my family, and I'm excited to spend more time with them. You know, I'm not in the middle of it right now, but I know that I'm gonna have a big happy family in the future, so it doesn't matter where I came from. It doesn't matter who my legacy was. It doesn't matter who my mom and dad were. You know, these are parts of my past, and I'm excited for the future, so I'm going to lead forward. And that kind of stuck out to me because you kind of had the cliche character of, oh, he's neglected, he feels alone. It's very generic, and that's why critically this movie probably wasn't, you know, amazing for people, and at the box office it was I think it lost money when you factor in marketing, but regardless of all that, the ending made it worth it to me because the message still resides of the future is awesome, we should be really, really excited for it, and the future is coming. In fact, it's constantly arriving to us today, and the best reveal at the end is that this Cornelius guy that they keep referencing to, but we don't really get an unveiling till the very end of the film, is actually the kid himself, Lewis. That was probably the biggest twist for the film when I was watching it. Okay, I was 9 years old. I didn't see the twist coming. I know, it's probably kind of obvious for people, but for me at least, it was a big twist because the underlining message I heard was the future's exciting, we need to get pumped for it, and at the end of the day, you are the one who makes it happen. You know, when you're just teleported from the past into the future and you're overwhelmed by all of the cool new things we have there, it's amazing to think that, oh, and by the way, the reason the future is this way is because of the technology and the effort you put into it before. Like, this future was built by you. And I'm not inspired by that from an inventing point of view because, you know, I'm not an engineer, I'm not a software coder or any of that stuff, but the reason it got me excited was because from a bigger standpoint, it was like, you're young, you're not doing much work, you're not, like, changing the world drastically right now, but our youth and us at a young age are the future. And that's kind of what drove my obsession with technology and where the future of our civilization is going to be. And knowing that I get to be a part of it and that I get to grow into it is what sort of made me the type of tech-obsessed person that I am today. And there's also pretty smart and pretty juvenile comedy in this movie. Like, probably one of my favorite jokes is when Lewis asks what Cornelius looks like, and he says Tom Selleck, who actually plays Cornelius in the movie. So when Lewis is referencing back to other people and he's trying to connect all the dots of the family, they just use an actual picture of Tom Selleck, which I thought was clever. I don't know. These are the jokes, kid. As an adult, it's definitely not as funny as it was with a kid because there's a lot of extreme juvenile behavior in this movie. It's definitely trying to appeal to kids. So that element is there, but at the end of the day, this movie got me pointed on the direction of being at the cutting edge of tech and wanting to talk about the latest technology available, because that means we get to see the future we are eventually going to grow into. So a lot of what I am today is built around being excited for technology and covering the news for that, and electric vehicles and smartphones and that kind of thing. I think it all kind of stemmed back to this film because it got me excited for the future and very optimistic about it, and excited for the fact that I get to be a part of it and in some ways help build it. Not from a technical level, but just from a press and news level. But I rewatched it again not too long ago and just remembered why it inspired me so much, despite it being so childish and having a lot of funny moments. It got me excited for the future, and I still am. So I think this was kind of an influential film as a kid that kind of pointed me in the direction that I am now. So did anyone else have this reaction? I doubt it. It's probably just me, but I appreciate you watching anyway. So thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to even watch a title that's so outlandish, but hope you have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.